Hello everyone. Today we're going to be doing a very special interview with the owner, or founder rather, of Ionza, Joseph Blessing, who basically pioneered bringing such amazing transformative systems into New Zealand more than 16 years ago. Welcome, Joseph. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
Now, let's begin. So, can you tell us what inspired you to start Ionza? Yeah.
Well, it was in a time when I was working as a psychotherapist in Auckland, and I was relating to Golden Bay as well because I still had my home here, and neighbor friends, they were keen to start a spa in Nelson. And they asked whether we could, because I have had some luck with making some money, and whether we could consider helping them to get that started.
Right.
And so my then partner and me, we said, yes, we would consider it. And I then actually was keen to understand what's really good water.
Right.
So I volunteered to do some research on that.
I can imagine.
Yeah, and that was highly interesting because it didn't take long, and I noticed some devices that were called water ionizers. And I never heard about any of that. It's something that obviously came from the Asian area. And when I looked into the details of what they do and what they offer, they said something like it's healing springs quality. And I was really amazed. At the same time, I felt like, oh, can I really trust this? Maybe it's a bit of a woo-woo stuff, something that it's maybe a scam or something.
Yeah, very skeptic.
But I was skeptical, that's right. I then went further, checking out more about water and quality, natural water and healing springs and so on. I came across more of those sites from different companies. And by then I thought, well, there can't be a woo-woo or can't be some scam, because these websites look like really sophisticated. And a lot of health claims were so interesting that I thought as a health practitioner and psychotherapist that this could be really interesting to actually give it a shot, and at least maybe get a machine and try it out on myself and talk to some other people in the industry who, like in the States, there were some companies at the time, to talk to them. And one of the really meaningful things that actually prompted me to indeed buy a machine as a test machine was I talked to a guy called Aldrin in the States. And when I asked him what he has been doing before he started the company, he said, well, I was a psychologist. And I said, oh, there we go.
Yeah.
And then I asked him, so why did you give up your profession and started a water ionizer company? He said, it's quite simple. As a psychologist, I might be able to see 6 people in the day. With my water ionizer company, I can see hundreds of people and offer them alkaline ionized water that calms them down in their nervous system, that changes the pH. By that they are more healthy internally, etc., etc. And so by that I can help so many more people. And that I thought was really interesting.
Yeah, it strikes a chord.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So you're kind of inspired by the fact that you could scale the positive impact that you have on people.
Totally.
Yep, I align with that one as well. That's awesome. You had that motivation, but being 16 odd years ago, I imagine there would have been a bit of pushback, a bit of unknown, a lot of education. Like, what did you experience and what kept you going through? Like, why did you, out of everyone, persist? Like, what was it there?
Yeah, it's a very good question. Well, it was definitely a daunting exercise because when we started, I remember being at the first expo in Nelson, actually.
Oh, yeah.
It was a women's expo, women's lifestyle expo.
Oh, yeah.
And we had this stand with our very mediocre graphics of messages, a bit like from the typewriter off, because our budget wasn't very high. And honestly, it was like talking to aliens.
Or people felt like they were talking to aliens.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we actually managed to sell 1 machine on that day, on that weekend, which was amazing for us. At least somebody got it. Encouraging. It was hard. It was tough. But we went from small successes to medium successes and so on, built from there. And the interesting thing that really kept us going, one is because we had those role models in the States and in other countries who have already worked in that field for some years, and in Asia for many decades already. There was lots of testimonials around that we could actually also tap into it.
Yeah, sure.
And also then we got our little testimonials here and there from the new clients we got.
Yeah,
and that also was very encouraging.
Yeah, it would have been quite momentous, like a snowball effect.
Yeah.
The more you got out there, the more good feedback you're getting.
Yeah. And even though it was tough and it was slow, because of having had those feedbacks and those testimonials, it really encouraged us to keep going.
Yeah. Yeah, like these days as well, it's a different game because so many people are more aware. There is like biohackers out there, and there's a lot of podcasts crediting these types of machines, and so it's more or less about becoming visible for the clientele, not so much educating.
Yeah.
So it's really, like I can only imagine how you got through that time. I think it takes a certain type of strength. So I'm so grateful that you did that for Ionza.